Hello, this is Jeremy Coates, and thank you for joining me for this 14th episode. Today I have a small cold, so please excuse my deep voice, and hopefully I don't sound like I'm talking out of my nose too bad. But today we're going to be discussing 10 steps to move you towards your dream. And I'm really excited about this topic. I was going to post this one probably about a week or so ago, and I kind of overlooked it, and I wanted to make sure that I kind of packed this episode with some really good tips for moving towards your dream now, and I want to share them with you, so hang tight. This podcast is dedicated to the entrepreneurs that are trying to make a difference in the world. I am your biggest fan, and here's to dominating your personal and professional lives. Hello, my name is Jeremy Coates, and thank you for listening to the Innovative Marketer Podcast. It is not always the best product or services that will dominate an industry. And over the last 20 years, I've learned through my experiences and from the best leaders, copywriters, and entrepreneurs in the world on what it takes to dominate in any given industry. After studying all of the pains and challenges that entrepreneurs face, there are 3 areas that are crucial for their salvation. We call it the Innovative Marketing Trinity. Innovative marketers build their life around leadership, customer value optimization, and systems that allow them to create and have the life of their dreams. We do this because we feel it is our responsibility to improve the lives of those around us. This includes more than just our clients, but our families and teammates as well. We are innovative marketers, and welcome to our podcast. You know, when I was growing up, I had one dream as a kid, and most people have a lot of different dreams, but when I was probably in 2nd grade, my parents really pushed me into, they already had me in sports. I think I started playing soccer when I was about in kindergarten. But 2nd grade, they sat me down and told me that if I wanted to be successful, I needed to get a full scholarship, and go to college. So, that was my dream. I just wanted to get a full scholarship playing sports. And the weird thing that I learned, after my NCAA years were over, I didn't really know what else to dream for. Looking back after 20 years, I put together some, like I said, some small steps for you guys and ladies that are trying to figure out what your dream is and how to keep moving towards your dream, even if you don't know if it's the right dream or not. Okay, so my biggest downfall was, although I ended up going to college, it was fortunate enough to play on a really good football team at West Georgia. We won 2 conference championship rings. I actually broke several school records, including the highest scoring record my senior year. I didn't ever achieve that dream of a full scholarship. And they ended up giving me books and tuition, but I never got my room and board. So I felt like, I never accomplished my dream, as silly as it sounds looking back, 20 years later. But back then I was crushed. I felt defeated, and at a very low point in my life. And I know a lot of people that knew me back then thought I was really confident, and but I really felt like that I didn't, meet my life goals. I know when you're from 2nd grade until you're in college. And then even when I was in college, I was still trying to earn that full scholarship. I never did achieve that. So, but like I said, I was very defeated, I felt crushed and, but no one really talks about your dreams, how to take your dreams from your childhood years and then chase them into your adult years. So, I didn't really know any better. So when I failed to reach my dream of a college full ride, I didn't really know what else to do. I didn't, feel passionate about what I was going to school for. I wanted to be an engineer when I first started college, and the school I played for didn't offer an engineering degree. So I was going to have to go for a pre-engineering degree and then probably transfer to Georgia Tech. But I wanted to play 4 years of football. So even after I started as a pre-engineering major, I went from pre-engineering to business to computers to physics. And then my last declared major was a professional chemistry degree. because a lot of my teachers told me that I could be very versatile as a plant manager with that degree, and I was pretty smart. I, made some bad choices my first season playing football and had to take an F in a class because I didn't want to miss a game, and I actually made the team my true freshman year. But anyway, I didn't know any better. Sometimes when you're chasing a dream, you make really bad decisions, and you really don't realize that until later on. And sometimes those decisions work out. But, back then I didn't really know any better. I was young and I didn't have an inner circle, to follow, And like I said, 20 years later, a lot of things made a lot more sense. And I've been fortunate enough to train with John Maxwell and Jack Canfield, and they've taught me a lot about this topic. So today, I want to discuss how to move yourself towards your dream. I know a lot of people don't have dreams, and other people have no idea. The ones that do have dreams, they really don't have an idea how to reach them. So if you fit into one of these groups, I think you'll really enjoy some of these topics that we're going to quickly discuss. This will be a short one probably, but I want to list out some big things to focus on to move you closer to achieving your dreams. But remember this, all great leaders have big dreams and a loyal team of people that are passionate about that dream. And the leaders in the group that the main leader have, they just help each other chase that dream, and they have that camaraderie. But anyway, so the first thing is I encourage you to hang around people that encourage you and your dream. Now, this is easy for the extroverts out there. If you're an introvert like me, just get over yourself. The one thing that I try to do is focus on getting in groups of people that are chasing the same dream. And I'm not one of those kind of people that goes to a party and goes out and talks to everybody and meets people. It's never been easy for me to do, but I tell you, the cool thing is it's never been easier to do that type of stuff as it is today. I mean, you can go online, find a meetup group or a Facebook group of people that are chasing a similar dream as you and connect with some of them. And eventually you share some of the challenges that you're going through and some of the things, your achievements. I'm sure you'll have some people cheering you on and helping you out. You just want to make sure that you add value and try to help others, and don't just do nice things for people so they do them back. Be genuine and, interested in helping others, and sooner or later, you'll get the same in return. Okay, so the next thing is let go of the past fast. Everybody has baggage in their history. Don't ever think that you are the only one that's gone through troubles. I've been around some of the most accomplished people in the world, and they all have stories and experiences that they would rather not talk about. But the true power lies within going through those difficult times and turning them into a positive lesson or a positive experience. The same goes for, the same could be said about forgiveness. The sooner you learn to change your perspective about past events and find the positive in everything, the sooner you will be able to become more powerful and fearless about bigger and better things. And that's a fact. If you knew me personally, you probably know I've went through a lot of things, and it took me many years to get over a lot of the stuff that I've been through. But the sooner that you come to terms with that stuff, learn from it and leave it in the past, the better. It's essentially like cleaning your plate off when you're going to a buffet bar. You can't keep food on your plate and keep piling stuff on there. Sometimes you just gotta scrape that plate clean, get another plate, and start over, okay? So the next step would be never ever settle for average. This is like an oxymoron point to me, but many people think it's okay to be average. I don't think I've ever had the luxury of thinking that it's okay to be average. I've just been around too many, even growing up. I had a professional athlete as a coach when I was in second grade or third grade. And, this is probably one of those things that's really hard for me to relate to other people. But I'll try going in this direction, okay? So your parents, your kids, your husband or wife, they deserve the best version of you, okay? So don't cut corners. Don't settle for average. They deserve the best version of you. And I also have a quote that says that God's gift to you is your unused potential, but your gift to God is what you do with that potential. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like my dad used to tell me, be the best you can be at everything that you do, or don't waste your time even trying. When you take this attitude and turn it into a habit, it doesn't matter what you do. If I'm washing a car, if I'm building a house, if I'm washing dishes or making the bed or doing whatever, try and give it 100% and be the best at it you can be. This will move you rapidly towards at least getting in, a good momentum and building good habits around, things that can help you find your true passions in your dream if you don't already have that dream picked out. Okay. So the next thing is take small steps and build up your confidence. I know a lot of people that lack confidence, and I know some people that, you look at them and you think they just naturally, they have charisma and they're very confident. And, some people, you just have to remember it takes time, and little steps over and over usually will build confidence. Okay. So, when I got certified to be a John Maxwell coach, he told us that practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. And I really didn't understand what he meant by saying that back when I heard it. But the older and wiser that I grew, I realized that he meant that there are a lot of people practicing little things the wrong way that didn't cause people to become perfect. And I've done a lot of things in my life, like I mentioned, that, and one of the things that I've learned is that, it takes a lot of little small steps of doing things to build your confidence. But don't worry about being perfect or even going in the right direction sometimes. I don't know if you've ever seen that little success picture on social media that shows people think success is a straight line going up at an angle, but what it really looks like is a bunch of squiggly lines going all over the place. If you don't have confidence, it's probably because you're not doing the things that you need to be doing. You're better off doing things wrong, being terrible at it, because what happens is you build the habit of actually taking action. And when you take action, you'll start getting confident. You'll start getting better. And sometimes if you're going in the wrong direction, you can readjust. I know Jack Canfield has a saying that, he says instead of, it isn't that you, it's ready, fire, aim pretty much. You don't really take aim and then fire. You fire and then aim and you readjust. So if you don't have confidence in the things that you're doing now, how can you be chasing your dream, right? So you got to start learning to build your confidence, and then eventually that'll help carry you closer to your dreams. I hope that makes sense, because self-confidence is the most attractive quality a person can have. But how can anyone see how great you are if you can't see how great you are yourself? So sometimes you got to believe in yourself. You're going to have hard times. You're going to feel like quitting. You're going to feel like you're not doing right. But just keep moving forward and keep your confidence level up, okay? So the next thing is spend time daily visualizing your dream. Now, this took me a long time to really learn this principle in the business world, but I was doing this all through childhood with sports. It's amazing how when you visualize how you're going to do something, it just seems like it's going to be a lot easier. And I know when I was playing football, even at West Georgia, I had Coach Lanford. He would always tell us to visualize when we were, kicking or whatever. He used to tell us to visualize all the steps, everything going, how it's going to happen. And, I had a lot of game-winning kicks that I don't think I've ever really missed a pressure kick. Now, we've probably lost a few games maybe where we were maybe 2 or 3 points apart, but all the pressure kicks that I made, I typically would go in that game and visualize kicking the game-winning field goal. I never was, I got nervous, but I didn't focus on missing. I more or less focused on what I needed to do the right thing. So, and the same thing for construction. When I was younger, I would usually think of the work that I had to do the next day when I was laying in bed or when I was on the way to work. And I would even visualize how I would unload and load my truck just to speed things up. I would think about how I would set up workstations, And if you ever stand on a construction site long enough, you'll see patterns that the best crews work with every day. They do that for efficiency. They cut down on mistakes. They speed things up. They get more done in less time, But the hard part is you can't visualize something if you have no idea what it is. So do it the old-fashioned way. If you don't know how to dream, brainstorm on paper. Just get a pen and paper and start writing things out that you would love to do, or things that, if you knew you couldn't fail, you would like to do. Things like that will bring you joy. You know what I'm saying? And I know Jack Canfield taught some great visualization exercises in his workshops, and I can't tell you how much that helped me, to visualize the things that I wanted to do. And sometimes it really helps when things are going wrong and times are hard. Just visualizing your purpose and your dreams will help you sometimes get back on track when you get knocked off, So sometimes, you also, the visualization stuff will help you solve problems in your head before they happen. And in that way, if problems do arise, you can move through them more smoothly. So take my word for it and try this out, the visualization stuff, and just see what kind of rewards it brings to you, okay? The next thing I want to talk about is don't get caught up on the things outside of your control, because this will definitely derail you from your dreams. Now, this is a tricky one, so let me clarify. Most of the things that you rely on a daily basis, you really don't have a lot of control over. You can't count on you can count on your car to work and the people that work for you, but sometimes things like the weather and the market and, politics and other things get in the way, and there's a lot of things that you can count on, but you really don't have a lot of control over some of the other things. So it's not really that you shouldn't worry about things, because sometimes worrying is just a natural emotion that you feel, but you have to realize when you start to worry and then kind of stop that in your tracks and start visualizing and focusing on the things that you want to have happen. Like Stephen Covey said, you want to begin with the end in mind. So focus on the end and the results that you want. It's really how you accept responsibility when things don't go your way. Like Jack Canfield teaches that formula that we went over in the responsibility episode. But just remember this, one of the fastest ways to see people go crazy is to watch them to try and control things that they have no control over. Some people will just go nuts because they can't control some situations. But sometimes you have to do the best you can with what you have. And when bad things happen, just do like I mentioned, just focus on the things you can control, starting with the response that you give to the event. Now, the formula for the responsibility, like I mentioned about Jack Canfield, your E plus your R equals your O. The events that happen to you plus your response equals the outcome. Your outcome is typically the only thing that you can control. So you want to focus on that, okay? The next thing you want to do is stay active doing things that keep you passionate about your dreams. The universe rewards action, so you got to stay busy. Don't accept any excuses from anyone, and definitely not from yourself. One of the best things or habits you can get into is writing your dreams down on a piece of paper every morning and every night. This is a simple activity, and this will give you the feeling of achievement of your dreams, because when you're writing that stuff out, you typically will visualize them while you're doing this. Now, don't get me wrong. I said this to make you realize that anyone can do this part. If you want your dream bad enough, if you can't get to a meeting or write a blog or make some kind of big time progress, at least write your dreams out every day on paper and visualize that. There's too many books and legends that have spoke on this topic and believe in this. And if you're one of those people that thinks that visualizing and meditations don't work, what's the point of dreaming in the first place then, right? So I promise you, when you are doing this little exercise, you will magically get the ideas that can put you into action and propel your dream forward. If you haven't read Think and Grow Rich, this may change your mind on this principle. But the main thing is to stay active and keep that passion alive. And the easiest and most
important way of doing that is just writing down your dream every morning and every night. Okay? So the next point or step to move towards your dream would be willing and able to pay the price. Don't be naive when it comes to your dream. Plan it out and know the costs. And remember this, things will always take longer and cost more than you think. That's just the way life is. We always underestimate when it comes to costs and time. So be reasonable with yourself. And I learned this from John Maxwell teaches this, and he taught me this. Things always take double the time and usually cost double the money that you think that it'll take. So make sure you don't beat yourself up too much when this kind of thing happens. You know what I mean? So the main thing is just to make progress every day and always be taking steps or even crawling forward. Slow and steady wins the race. The important thing is to take away from this is just know that you have to be willing and able to pay that price, whatever it is. Sometimes the price to achieve greatness is always different for different people, but the further up you go, the greater the cost. And that's another John Maxwell principle. The more you move up on your leadership level, and the more people that depend on you, the more you'll have to sacrifice to serve those people. And I really didn't understand this when I was younger, but I sacrificed a lot of my younger years, mostly a lot of time and freedom and my time with my family. But the main point is know the costs and be willing or able to pay for that, or you'll suffer the consequences either way. Okay? So the other point that I want to make is make sure that your dream will benefit others. Now, this goes without saying. If your dream is a selfish dream, then you will have an uphill battle. There are plenty of people that will fall into this trap and they'll achieve their dreams only to find out that it was a Pyrrhic victory, which basically means that they might have won their dream, but they lose a lot of other things in the process, and it just makes the victory more of a loss than a true victory or a win. People like that will lose their families, their friends, their homes, or their businesses, or other things that are important to them, all in the chase of their dreams. And you don't want to fall into that trap. You want to make sure that others will benefit from your dream, and you'll have a loyal team of friends and teammates and family members, hopefully, helping you on this journey, and you will have the energy and the purpose in achieving your dreams. And in the end, if it's all for nothing really, if you can't celebrate your victory with your tribe or your teammates. You know what I mean? So that's a very important point. Make sure that your dream will benefit others. Okay? So the last one, I believe, is always keep moving towards your dream. And I know we've kind of said that in a few different ways. And this is, the 10 steps to move towards your dream, but always be moving towards your dream. Every day, try to get a small win. It takes discipline and focus to always be working on your dream. And just remember, like we mentioned, steps earlier, and you should be able to at least make progress every day. Okay? So if you enjoyed this podcast, I encourage you to subscribe to this so you don't miss any episodes. Leave me a review, good or bad. I want to hear what you guys think. And if you're interested in learning more about putting your dream to the test, I'm actually certified to teach a course on this from John Maxwell. You can sign up at innovativemarketer.net for a free strategy call with me, and I look forward to speaking with you guys. Until then, chase your dreams, make progress, help people on the way, and can't wait to hear your success stories.
Thank you for listening to the Innovative Marketer Podcast. This is Jeremy Coates, and this podcast covers the 3 phases of the innovative marketing trinity. The first phase is leadership, which includes taking responsibility, finding your purpose, your dream, learning to grow into the leader that can develop other leaders and build teams. The second phase is customer value optimization, which includes assessments, research, describing your perfect client avatars, USPs, direct response copywriting, designing content that drives traffic, and how to read data and key performance indicators so you know how to scale and when to scale back. The third phase is the automation systems, where you learn cash flow systems, how to recruit and train your team, project management systems, content producing systems, communication systems, and the software and apps that will help you achieve your greatness. I encourage you to download the episodes and listen to them again, and leave me a review, good or bad. I'm here to help anyone that wants to get better, and I am also on a growth plan of my own, so let's take this journey together. If you have any questions or suggestions, you can email me at jeremy@innovativemarketing.pro.